Authentication for any application impacts the first experience that people have. Then re-authenticating is another friction that touches on, revenue, growth, retention.
Obviously, knowing the user and understanding who the user is critical for the right experience in application. Today, the world is highly personalized to give each user the right experience and obviously the right data and privacy controls that come along with that. To make that happen, people are trying to hold the sticks at two ends, right? Give a seamless onboarding and know who you are at the same time.
Authentication and identity compromise is what allows adversaries to get in. As we actually help our customers recover from ransomware and see what is happening in their environment, the first question they ask is, hey, how do we ensure that everything is multi-factor authenticated? Everything is two-person rule to ensure that human beings are not the weakest link in the chain.
I don't think there's anything more core or more important in the security space than managing your identity, be it inside a company or your personal management of your identity. So it is at the core, in my mind, of everything that is about security. Because if you can't manage and protect your identity well, or those who are important to you well, then guess what? You don't have a trusted environment that people can operate in.
And every time you go into an enterprise, you have to pass the security reviews for your product. Half of the security review is about how do you manage identities, how do you manage users, provide secure access to the systems that you're doing.
If you looked at all the breaches that started mid-2000 forward, they were all identity-based. It was all somehow a external party got control over credentials. It could be social engineering, it could be a data breach, it could be a malware, it could be phishing, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But they needed their hands and credentials. And when they had credentials, it was kind of game over.
Authentication and building all the authentication logic in your product is a lot of work. Like it can take a dedicated team of engineers a long time. And many times you start with some simple authentication mechanisms, then you have to keep adding more and more. The variety of authentication mechanisms, how do you manage the users, the user onboarding? There's a lot of work.
This is definitely not one of these projects that I would want to spend our team's time on. It's an endless investment in something that evolves. Identity issues, compliance issues, fraud issues continue evolving, and then your investment is basically endless.
The complexity and the nature of different authentication schemes. Is it a link, kind of a magic link? Is it a username password? Do you have other mechanisms to authenticate? And as that world changes with passwordless, there's just a whole new, am I going to support this thing?
Identity has many attributes to it. So when I look, there is the authentication, but you also have the authorization. And that's where it can become really complicated in terms of what's allowed in context, what is not allowed, what to show, how to make the APIs and the data structure validated in context to what the user needs to see, can see in an application, in a website. And it's especially sensitive, when it comes to financial information, for example, or PII. So then it can become very complicated quickly.
The Descope team I've known for almost 10 years, and they are world-class when it comes to thinking and disrupting markets. So when they came to me with this idea of really disrupting and reinventing how password is done in this new world of digital, when every service is delivered digitally, I jumped on this idea.
I invested in Descope because of the rare combination of obviously an amazing team and world experts in security for many, many years, but also the vision that connects the identity infrastructure, the identity platform, and easy access developer APIs, I think is very, very unique.
Based on experience we had with the team in prior companies or prior adventure, then I think that the level of execution, but also the level of transparency and the level of trust that we held for the team is as high as one can imagine.
There is no better team in cyber, anywhere in cyber. It's by far the best team going and working together, third time in a row. And it's just amazing to see how great success you can create. You have great camaraderie between all of you together. And that is just a great recipe for a successful company.
Just the goal of achieving this idea of passwordless future for everyone and making it such where it's not going to hurt conversion, it's not going to hurt retention and revenue over time is the right goal to building a massive company.
I think I, as a consumer, hate passwords. I have a different shared secret with any one of the apps I use, and that's crazy.
First thing that comes to mind is can't remember.
First is trust, and then I go to, oh my God, not again. What is the hint?
It's such a mess to keep remembering the passwords everywhere. Everyone has different password rules, which annoys me the most.
It's burden. Coming up with a password is just a waste of time. People are just predictable. They shouldn't be dealing with passwords.
Oh my God. That's what comes to mind when I hear password.
We need something new.